Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers labor worldwide in truth and sincerity, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect, believing on the words of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. This your brother Yahawah, coming at you with another lesson. Lord willing, is edifying. And I want to feature this video from the Epic Economist put up last night. It says people will go completely insane when energy prices triple from current levels. All right, and it's mainly going into this natural gas. All right, I read they had a statement in here of a stat that was 50% of Americans use natural gas to heat their homes. But, just doing research on that subject of natural gas, I found out last week it's actually 60% of Americans use, natural gas to heat their homes. And it's a shortage of natural gas. You just had the Nordstrom get, as they calling it, sabotaged. All right, and America had been sending natural gas, to Europe, to help alleviate them from depending on Russian natural gas. All right, and all of these things are gonna culminate to, I believe, what Biden said last year. And brothers hopped on it and did lessons that dark winter. All right, but everything is moving toward the end of this current system. Okay, we get something real quick. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7 and verse 5. Thus saith the Lord power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. So it's just bad times, all right? And these things are going to increase. It's not going to be, any relief for you people, man. All right?
Brace yourselves, because as the seasons turn, U.S. households are set to see their energy bills get extraordinarily expensive. For the first time in nearly 5 decades, the entire Western world is preparing for widespread and rolling energy shortages during the winter. And things are getting particularly alarming in the United States, where energy reserves have dropped to the lowest levels since 1984, in face of the steep collapse of the nation's energy.
Now that stood out to me, because I believe the apostles often go into, this movie called 1984. All right? Why, and everything is, spiritual. All right? You got to have that spiritual eye, man. Why would it be 1984 of all years? And that movie 1984, it says a man loses his identity while living under a repressive regime. It says, in a story based on George Orwellian classic, Winston Smith is a government employee whose job involves rewriting the history in a manner that casts his fictional country leaders in charitable light. Yeah, that's dystopian, Orwellian, society, which we're heading into. All right? I was just, bringing that up.
Supplies, the only certainty around the ongoing energy price shock is that it's likely to get worse in the coming months as demand explodes all over the country. Some households may be facing an over 60% spike in their utility bills before the end of the year, while businesses are already doing everything they can to cut costs to be able to survive another dark winter. The situation is being described as frightening and shocking by the people who work in the energy industry. And what will happen next is going to send shivers up the spine of millions of Americans. That's what we're going to expose today. But before moving on, please support us with a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our future videos. Some people may not realize yet that heating their homes this winter will be extremely expensive, especially since gasoline prices had been falling in recent months. In a lot of people's minds, gasoline and home energy are the same, explained Mark Wolf, the ADA's executive director. The surprise here is that the prices for heating fuels are gonna be popping, he warned. The massive energy price surge that's now unfolding in America is directly linked to Europe's energy crisis. Over the past few months, the U.S. government sent record liquefied natural gas exports to Europe to help it boost supplies before winter. But as it tried to mitigate energy supply shortages on the other side of the ocean, our country was left with perilously low stockpiles to supply the national demand during the colder months. According to the latest data from the Energy Information Administration, the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve has declined to its lowest level in 38 years. The nation's emergency crude stockpile dropped to 434.05 million barrels. It hasn't been that low since early November 1984, when the National Strategic Reserve hovered at around 436 million barrels, the organization noted. Since the conflict between Russia and Ukraine broke out, the White House introduced the 1 million barrels a day oil release plan using the country's emergency reserves. Bloomberg researchers reported that the federal government had planned to restock the National Energy Reserve after the price of crude oil fell below $80 per barrel. But market experts suggest that oil prices will remain well above that margin for the rest of the year. In short, this means that the administration's strategy is poised to backfire, as noted by the industry expert Phil Flynn. The Biden...
It said it's poised to backfire. All right, the Lord is causing Egypt, America, Babylon the Great to err in every work. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. The Lord, Yahawah, bahasham, have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. He has mingled a perverse spirit in this place, man. Twisted. Okay? It says, and they have caused Egypt, America, Babylon the Great, to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. See? So it says it's poised to backfire. He thought he had a good plan laid out. All right? He thought he had everything set up. But to the contrary, it's not. Okay?
Administration admitting that they have to
And that's part of the Lord bringing the calamities of Esau upon him. Let's get there. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49. Right? Let's get to the point. This is Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? See, the Lord is causing them to err, because he's already taken away their wisdom. Right? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. And the Lord is visiting him in various ways. All right? You got these storms, these tempests, okay? And you also have them erring in their financial market. All right? You got them erring in their trade market. Okay? You got them erring in their foreign policy. Okay? The Lord is giving you a telltale sign, all right, that he's taking away their stability. Okay? And now what they're going to have to resort to is the only blessing that they have left, which is the sword. Because their deceit, all right, is being quenched in the earth. Everybody is now has their scope on America.
Bill, the reserve is an admission that their policy of using the Strategic Petroleum Reserve for political purposes will backfire. The administration is now acknowledging that they have to be prepared for a winter price spike, and that means that surging inflation may not be over at the gas tank or when you pay your heating bills, he said. That is to say, not only has the U.S. failed in providing effective help for its allies, but it's also left its population vulnerable to power shortages and brutal price increases at a time they need a reliable supply of energy the most.
Basically, it's going to be a cold, dark winter. All right? And we've been warning you of the blackouts. Okay? We've been warning you of the players that the Lord said he's going to send upon Egypt again, man. Right? Let's get that. It's the mighty Lord sending the plagues. You're not going to turn them back. They're going to increase. This is the book of 2nd Ezra. What does Scripture say? The fierce anger of the Lord will not return. Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 15. And I'm going to get to the point. It says, 2nd Ezra 15 and 10 says, Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. Again, Egypt, all right, is a dark saying. It's a metaphor for America, Babylon the Great. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. See? So part of those plagues is going to be that darkness, man, that blackout. Okay? It's going to cause a lot of anguish, a lot of tribulation.
At this point, even Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is alerting us of price shocks that will chill Americans to the core this winter when they see their utility bills or pump gasoline. This winter, the European Union will cease, for the most part, buying Russian oil, and in addition, they will ban the provision of services that enable Russia to ship oil by tanker. That could cause a spike in oil prices, Yellen warned. With prices of oil and natural gas facing a steady rise, U.S. consumers are going to be economically eviscerated by the soaring costs and stuck with fewer energy supply alternatives. Oil makes up about half the price of a gallon of gasoline, and diesel fuel for vehicles like trucks and heating oil for homes are distilled from oil. Meanwhile, around 50% of all U.S. homes use natural gas to heat homes and water. On top of that, natural gas also is used to generate electricity, which is why electricity prices shot up 15.8% in...
You see? This is a perfect work of Yahawashi. Okay? But 2/3 of our people don't understand what's to their peace, man. Because the Lord has declared and decreed nothing but bad times for America, Babylon the Great. Real quick, this is the book of Luke, chapter 19 and verse 41. It says, And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it. Yeah, this is talking about Yahawashi, right? Saying, If thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. All right? And this is Yahawashi referring to 70 AD. But how much more now when the fierce anger of the Lord is going to come upon Jake in its perfection, man? All right? Jacob's trouble. Okay? It's going to be a very, very heavy time. Okay?
August. Due to the struggle to fill our natural gas inventory before winter, natural gas prices have spiked to a 14-year high, and the elevated costs have prompted many people to switch to burning oil or burning coal for electricity. But The rush to hoard these alternative supplies was short-lived because their reserves have been almost entirely depleted last month. If current trends continue, Americans should get ready to pay 17.2% more on energy this month, on top of the increases recorded in previous months, according to estimates released by the National Energy Assistance Directors Association. Home heating is expected to reach a staggering $1,202, the highest price in more than a decade. To make things worse, the National Grid said last week it'll increase electricity rates by 64%, starting November the 1st and for the next 6 months. That's going to have a devastating impact on the finances of low-income families. Bank of America analysts wrote in a new note to clients that nationwide, a sizable share of Americans could come under pressure to make cuts in their other spending in order to keep the lights on. Similarly, NEADA's Mark Wolf pointed out, the rise in home energy costs this winter will put millions of lower-income families at risk of falling behind on their energy bills and having no choice but to make difficult decisions between paying for food, for medicine, and for rent.
Ooh. The difficult choice of paying for food, medicine, or rent, or your power. You see? These are the calamities that Yahawashi is bringing upon America, Babylon the Great, and various places around the world. All right? I seen an article last week where the UK said, heat or eat. Heat or eat. You see? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12 and verse 26. Again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come. And he prophesied of the times that are afar off. Thus say unto them, excuse me, therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord power. That's going to be it for the lesson. Lord willing, it's been edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Lord willing, coming at you with another lesson. Till the next time I say Shalom.